Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, quite a few of you have asked me about updated Grandmaster Gauntlet guide, and I just did one of my 2 new runs myself to test out some few new champions with some amazing and very interesting results. But as always, I will basically just do a bit of a rehash here how this guide works to help you build your own team and figure out, because that is the most important thing about Grandmaster's Gauntlet, because there are several places where you can get completely stuck and wasting your progress to the point, like Sasquatch or Weapon X, for instance. If you do not have a counter to Sasquatch, you're just going to get stuck and there will be nothing you can do to finish that path. And similarly, we have something like Korg that unless you are confident and able to do that fight, it's probably going to be quite expensive. So there are several tabs here. Number 1 is just a blank form for you to fill in. This is going to be the tab that you get to open the sheet on. Number 2, basically list a whole bunch of champions that are capable of doing these fights, and I'll have to add a few more here. And number 3 is kind of like a new team that I can recommend, for instance. Because I used similar team to this myself. I just avoided Hercules basically. But so let's break down what is the most important and what are the trickiest fights. As I mentioned before, Sasquatch and Weapon X, unless you have a counter for those will get you stuck. Weapon X in itself is relatively straightforward and it's not too hard to get a counter, but Sasquatch is definitely one of those where you really need to make sure that whoever you do bring in is capable of doing that fight. Then additionally, some of the harder fights, we have Mojo, Immortal, A-Bomb, Korg, T-Rex, and Spider-Ham. These are highlighted orange because you can push through them with brute force if you want to, but it will cost a lot if you try. And then Spider-Gwen, Void, Killmonger, APOC are kind of like yellow because they also do need, solid counters, but they're not necessarily as dangerous, I would say. You will not die immediately, because if you don't have a counter to Mojo, this Mojo is going to kill you very fast. Similar with I-Bomb, similar with Korg, so on and so forth. And then the green ones are kind of more straightforward. Obviously, you do need to be able to answer whatever is needed. Like against Doom, you either need a large or extra large champion, or Herc cheese it or something. Against Vision, you need like Taunt or some indestructibility, or something of the sort. And the bottom here is my MVP shortlist of whom I would suggest building the team. Obviously, not all of the champions here are mentioned. There will be others that can put in plenty of work. In past, we have had some very successful mutant teams with like Professor X and Namor and APOC, for instance, and Kitty and stuff like that. Initial teams were built around Aegon. But highlighted green are the ones that I think are more capable of doing a ton of the tricky fights specifically, and kind of like, you don't want all of these champions in your team, but you definitely want at least some of them in your team, if that makes sense. And this is how you build your team. Right, so here against Doom, we have some suggested counters for sure. I do want to add in Hulk to this one as well. As we can see, AA, Namor, I-Hulk, Magneto, Overseer, APOC, Overseer listed again, XL Champions, Hulk. Against T-Rex, we have Namor, Gulk, Magic, Black Widow, Clairvoyant, I-Hulk, Gambit, Tiger, Kitty, Herc, Titania. Those are the main ones here. Then we have against Vision, I want to add in Kate Bishop and Cassie Lang, because both of them can do these fights very well thanks to their taunting mechanics. Against MODOK, I definitely would add in Kate Bishop as well. So against Vision, we have Doom, Magic, Ham, Aegon, ramp, revives. Well, that's basically where you can ramp up your Aegon. Hercules, Kitty, Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang. Against MODOK, we have Aegon, Nick, AA, Magneto, Corvus, Hercules, Kitty plus Synergy with Tiger, Valkyrie, Kate Bishop. Against Spider-Ham, again, Kate Bishop does this well, for sure, but you can do it with Falcon, with Nick Fury, Professor X, Corvus, Hercules, APOC, Ghost, Valk. There we go. Nightcrawler can really be done with any champion. You just need to switch his phases. Spider-Gwen, again, really can be done with any champion, to be honest, because Spider-Gwen will not evade if you hit her block. So Valkyrie works great. Kate Bishop with Cold Snap shuts off that evade. We have Corvus hit the block. APOC, Aegon, Nick Fury, Professor X Falcon. Against Domino, obviously you ideally want the tech champions, but again, she's not super hard due to Power Shield and Matador nodes, so you can kind of brute force through her, but Warlock, Corvus, Ghost, Guillotine 2099, Nimrod, Meg Sentinel, and Hercules are all very solid options. Against Mojo, now this is a bit more important, we have Archangel, Ham, iHulk, Magic, Torch, Corvus, Cap Infinity War, Scorpion, Titania, and definitely want to add Cassie Lang here as well, because she's also buff immune, just like Titania. She's going to do great. Against Immortal Abomination, we need to add Cassie Lang too. Realistically, against Immortal Abomination, the most important thing is just be poison immune or something like Archangel that you can just switch off the abilities, or Ghost that just, gets stun of Furies. Let's go to path 2. Weapon X, again, Archangel, Warlock, Diablo, Magneto, Professor X, Aegon, Scorpion, Valkyrie, all work fantastic. Now we have Thing with Chi, Nick, Shang-Chi, Nick Fury, Aegon, Falcon, APOC, Tigra, Kitty, Diablo, Hercules, Scorpion, Valkyrie. I do want to add Kate Bishop here, because Kate Bishop is crazy good for this. And then we have Korg, and Korg is probably the hardest fight to do. We have Professor X, APOC, Falcon, Aegon if he's ramped up, Ghost, Doom, Herc plus revives, Kitty. There are not many great options. In my last run, I did solo Korg with Kitty, but this is the place where you can probably expect to use some revives. The block damage is going to be crazy good. Mixed Master, makes things super hard, and yeah, Korg is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Now with Dragon Man, we have Doom, Torch, Magic, iHulk, Magneto, Guillotine 2099, Spider-Ham, Tiger, Overseer, Quicksilver, Scorpion, Cassie Lang. Cassie Lang works fantastic too. We're going to extend that again. And Black Panther Civil War, Doom, Nick Fury, Archangel, Aegon, Magic, Shang-Chi, Corvus, Ghost, APOC, Valkyrie, Diablo. And I need to add in Tigra here. And yeah. Again, as long as you can deal with Footloose, this fight isn't too bad. Now, final path, APOC is not as bad as it's kind of made out to be honest. Cassie Lang also did this fight just fine, by the way. And Tigra can do this fight too, if you are comfortable with it. You have Warlock, iHulk, Corvus, Ghost, Magic, Omega Sentinel, Nimrod, Hercules, Cassie Lang, Tigra. Sasquatch, we have super important fight. Must have answered region. Absolutely must have answered region. So, Archangel, Torch, Warlock, Overseer, Scorpion, Cassie Lang. But yeah, it can obviously be other champions, but it is a very hard fight. So you need to have either heal block, or you need to have a lot of debuffs and despair. But keep in mind that there's power snack, so you need to be able to control the power. There's like energize, and it is a rough fight for sure. Make sure you have an answer to this one. Killmonger, we have Corvus, AA, Professor X, Nick Fury, Namor, Magic, Kitty. Yeah, I mean, Killmonger is quite annoying. At the very least, you probably want somebody that's bleed immune to be able to deal with it, because every time you take a block from Killmonger, there are bleeds placed on you that do hurt. Against Void, we have Aegon, Nick Fury, Shang-Chi, Corvus, Cap Infinity War, She-Hulk, Hercules, Kate Bishop. Works well for sure as well. And Nick Fury is relatively straightforward, it's not too bad. You have Namor, AA, Nick, Doom, Magic, Magneto, Ham, Corvus, Professor X, and Kitty. Those are some of the suggestions. Obviously, there are more. These are not all of them. And as I said, here I have built like a little bit of a sample team and which champions I would use where. So against Doom, I'd either use Hercules or AA. Both of them are capable of solo. Against Terax, against Kitty or Herc, both are capable of solo. Against Vision, we have Herc, Kate, Cassie. Herc, Kate, Cassie against... Cassie here. Herc or Kate against MODOK. Spider-Ham, I would use Kate or Hercules. Kate's probably the easiest for sure. Then we have Nightcrawler, again Kate, Spider-Gwen Kate, Domino, I'd use Hercules for, Mojo, I would use AA or Cassie for, Immortal Abomination, AA or Cassie, Weapon X is AA, Thing, I'd probably use Kate over her, to be honest. Korg, I would use Kitty, put on my recall masteries, and just do the medium light combos on intercepts, and try my best basically. It is a rough fight. Dragon Man, Cassie Lang, Black Panther Civil War Archangel. Now, end of this, we have for APOC, we have Herc and Cassie, Sasquatch, Cassie or AA, Killmonger, Kitty or AA, Void, Kate Bishop or Hercules, Nick Fury, AA or Kitty. So that's just a sample team that would work quite well. Again, you need to obviously apply your own favorite matches, but again, do not underestimate this Korg fight. It's the biggest piece of advice I can give you, and make sure you have an answer to Sasquatch. Most other stuff you can kind of get by, but these two things are brutally important. Anyways, I'm going to leave a link to this spreadsheet in the video description below. I hope you guys find it useful, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye! Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information